Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels, live from Radio Row here at Super Bowl LIX. I don't know, what does that equal out to? I don't even remember anymore. They got to change these Roman numerals. But here we are, Radio Row. Spent the day basically on the radio with 97.3 The Game. Lots of fun with Armin and Billy this morning, and Drew and KB this afternoon. I'll be joining those guys all throughout the week. But I have to talk to you fine folks, Packers fans worldwide, because that's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. And I'm playing dangerously today. We are on the Convention Center Super Bowl Media Wi-Fi. So if I get choppy on you, or I break up, I apologize. I get slow. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have some locked in internet. But right now, we're flying dangerously with Wi-Fi. Hello to everybody in the comments. So good to see everybody. I know you're all chomping at the bit to talk about Myles Garrett and the possibility of joining the Green Bay Packers in some blockbuster trade. Yeah, you guys know that's probably not going to happen, but it is fun and exciting to think about because it would be a pretty transformational moment in not just this team, roster, what have you, but in the organization, to the point where everything Brian talked about at the end of his press conference to wrap up the season regarding getting back to competing for championships. Well, a move for Myles Garrett would certainly indicate that the time is now. And he would certainly completely change a lot on the defensive side of the ball, especially up front all year long, watching them really struggle trying to get to the quarterback with four. Well, that problem would be instantly solved. Not to mention a guy who can do it all. He plays excellent in every single phase regarding playing the edge, playing the run, getting after the quarterback. There is nothing you can't ask him to do. He can kick inside. And the fact that you can then do whatever the hell you want behind him, both in run fits and coverages, it would really obviously give Jeff Hafley a major chess piece. But again, that is the fun part of it, and it is exciting to think about. The problem is like I said earlier, it's probably not going to happen for a number of different reasons. And I don't think because the Packers are too cheap or they're not going to get involved, because I think they will. Don't forget, Brian was right to the wire there with Khalil Mack with the Bears back in the day. And the Raiders chose the Bears because the Raiders thought the Bears would be worse and would finish, with a better draft pick. But Brian was in because he recognized the rare kind of promise, what happens when a rare blue chip player becomes available. You want to be in those conversations. Brian has been, will continue to be, and I think he will again with this one. But that said, there's a lot of teams that'll be going to be interested. It's not like the Packers are going to be bidding against one or two people. And I also know that the Browns have already messaged out after this news broke this morning. They're not moving him. They fully intend to keep him. And there's no package that could even possibly pry him away. And I know that's what they will say. That's what they would say. I suspect this is a trade that happens eventually somewhere down the line this offseason. But the Packers will be bidding against a lot of other teams that, let's face it, have a lot of cap space and or the ability to give them a monster contract in a way the Packers probably couldn't. And as far as what's on offer, and I know a lot of people talk about draft picks, there's zero doubt that draft picks will be involved. But I do think there'll probably be a player or two involved because I don't think the Browns are in some mode where they want to completely raze it to the ground and rebuild. They were certainly that when they drafted Myles Garrett. But right now, they're a team that probably obviously needs a quarterback. But outside of that, needs a piece or two to really compete and get back to getting to the playoffs like they were under Stefanski a couple years ago. I don't think they're in a, well, we're going to sell him for a ton of draft picks. I think people throwing out things like this, I saw a couple of these today, Jair, Lucas Van Ness, and things of that nature. First of all, I don't think Jair would be amiable to that. And I think he would probably do his inimitable Jairness to try and make that not happen. But also Lucas Van Ness, I think you want Lucas Van Ness in the building if Myles Garrett comes around to help Lucas Van Ness develop. But the one thing that would a potential kind of bargaining chip there for the Packers, I would suspect would be Malik Willis. And I'm not saying he would be the answer for the Browns, but his inclusion would probably be attractive for a team that A, needs a quarterback, period, but B, would instantly become a bridge to whatever they're going to do long term. I think that is, the type of thing the Packers would be talking about. Now, obviously, it would also have to include some premium draft picks. I'm not saying they don't need picks, because of course they do. But there's a lot of avenues this could end up going down. I think the Packers will be involved because they almost always are. But again, I'll be very, very surprised if the Packers are the ones left standing when this trade ends up happening, simply because there's a lot of teams out there with a lot of ammunition, and I don't see the Packers making a Mike Ditka-like swing back in the day, the Rick Henderson deal. I don't see that happening. What's going on, everybody in the comment section? So good to see you all. Everybody mixing it up. Before we get going, let's give a shout out to our good friends over at Prize Picks. That's right. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com. Use code CHTV. You can find Prize Picks in 43 different states, most importantly, including Wisconsin. Do it, folks. You know you'll want to. What's going on, folks? Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Kurt, what about Malik, Kenny Clark, and a second rounder? Well, look at it. People are throwing stuff out there already. Well, Malik might happen, but it's going to take a hell of a lot more than just a second rounder. Maybe a second rounder this year and your first next year. That's where I'm thinking this is headed. And as far as Kenny Clark, no team's going to want Kenny Clark, given his lack of production last year and the contract he just signed and his age, even though for a third guy on his third deal, he's a little younger than most. That's not going to be attractive to outside teams, certainly not to the Browns. Ralph, starting us off with a super chat. What's up, man? It's not going to happen, LOL. Next topic. Ralph, sir, when you are charged with creating content each and every day on the internet around the Green Bay Packers and the NFL, sir, I will be at your beck and call whenever you need me to come on and talk about whatever you need. But until that day, I'm the one creating the content, and that's the topic of the day, the headline of the day. So I'm going to keep talking about it. That's what I do, So you, sir, go start your own channel and talk what you need to talk about, and I will gladly chime in whenever necessary. But that's where we're at, people. It's the Super Bowl. Joe, what's going on, man? Make the trade draft night with Packers on the clock. I mean, you want to talk about a crazy atmosphere. That would be nuts. Now, I don't think anybody's doing anything inside 1265 Lombardi on the personnel side with an eye towards the drama, the narrative, making it a spectacle, a show, what have you. But I'll tell you what, the folks in marketing would probably love it. There's no doubt about it. Lambeau would certainly go crazy. Oh, John Dorn throwing cold water on it. He wants a ring. Packers not even close to a Super Bowl run. John, you know what you sound like? You sound like everyone when Reggie White came to Green Bay. Thank you. Here endeth the lesson. John, I only did all that, vocalized that way because you were all caps. Man, no need to yell. There's no need to yell about it. But really, I mean, look, the Packers aren't that. They went from 8 wins to 9 wins to 11 wins. They're on the up-and-coming side of things here, man. I don't need you in Debbie Downer mode. Let's dream during Super Bowl week. Then we got all offseason. We got the depths of June when there's nothing going on. You can be as Debbie Downer as you want to be. But right now, man, come on. Let's dream. Dream with me. Super Bowl. You don't think the Packers can retool their roster to the point where they can make a run at the Super Bowl next year? Sir, I am begging you to wake up. Jeff Smith, how are you? Thanks for the super chat. The heck with this trade stuff. We need daily info on restaurants, bars, clubs, especially since you have insider knowledge. People have to know. Jeff, as the week winds around, I may get, a glimpse or two, give you guys a glimpse or two behind the curtain of what's going on here in New Orleans. But it's early. I mean, I haven't talked about the fact that I did not get in last night to New Orleans. I mean, I walked in my hotel room at 1:30 a.m. I was supposed to be in by 7:30. 1:30 a.m. Your boy is running on fumes. It was, It was a night at JFK. Let's just put it that way. not a lot of fun. Corey, thanks for being a Care of the G Club member, man. Appreciate you. So if they make the trade for Garrett, probably won't go after a wide receiver in free agency, right? Not necessarily. Look, they can do what they need to do as far as the cap goes. They have all the maneuverability in the world, and I'm not just talking about like the space they have currently, even just effective cap space. They can do a ton of different things as far as current contracts, restructures, move some cap space around, so to speak. Now it's a bit getting back to kicking the can, but if they think the players are worth it, they could do it. I don't see them going that route. I think they'll be pretty smart about things, and I think they want to get back to having to deal with dead money each and every year, big chunks of dead money each and every year, because everybody's dealing with dead money at some point or another. But uh, I don't see them going that route. But if they wanted to, if there was a player they thought makes all the difference in the world, they have to have on their roster, they could do it. No question about it. John, how are you, man? I would trade every first-round pick Goot has made minus Love for Garrett. Well, if the NFL allows retroactive selections to be part of it, I'm sure you'll get your wish. But I don't think that's going to happen. Nola just getting started at 1:30 a.m. Yeah, Soder, but I was not. I was absolutely shattered. That's the problem. Oh, we got people arguing about Hassan Reddick. I love it. I will say the Reddick thing doesn't feel like a realistic move for me. Somewhat kind of what Will's talking about here. It wasn't like he was insanely productive once he finally did hit the field. But, look, I also think there are probably plenty of names that we are thinking about right now that you guys know are going to get re-signed, are going to get tagged, and it's not going to be a viable kind of conversation down the road. But, like I said earlier, it's time to dream. Why not dream? Bring back Reggie Gilbert. I like it. Herb, what's up, man? Thanks for checking out the stream. Appreciate you. If you look at it retrospectively, the Packers played the Eagles as tough as anyone in the playoffs, and we played poorly. The Pack is not as far off as people think, in my opinion. Yeah, I somewhat agree there. I also think, the Packers were true to form in that game, what they had basically been for the last 3 or 4 games prior to the playoffs, right? That's why it was so kind of hard to watch, because you almost knew what was coming. But to your point, yes, they did play them tough, especially on defense. They just took the offense forever to do anything, which would have made it a very different game. On top of the fact that the game started the way it did, very frustrating. You can't spot a team that good, 7 points right out of the gate, which the Packers did. But even given that, you look at the Commanders game, there's no doubt that the turnovers tell that story. And I sure think the Packers seem to regroup, gather themselves a little bit better than the Commanders did. And I also think the Packers defense played much better than the Commanders defense did. So there's certainly some validity to that. Kevin, you must have missed my big video with Cliff Crystal earlier. Can we talk about the fact that the Packers already have 2 NFL three-peats? Tired of hearing all this first three-peat in the NFL. Does anyone know pre-Super Bowl history? Kevin, we did a whole video about it. It is literally the featured video on the channel right now. Make sure you check it out. Yes, I am tired of it as well. I think lots of folks just assume, I mean the Super Bowl era, but they say it without actually saying it out loud. And then Packers fans get their backs up, and it is annoying as hell. There is no doubt about it. And I do know that at some point this week, mark this 0, this is going to happen. At some point this week, we're going to get the backlash to Packers fans, backlash of the lack of respect for the 2 three-peats. That is coming. That check is in the mail. Either the Chiefs fans or some NFL, probably national media member will be like, I'm so sick of Packers fans talking about their 2 three-peats. I'm so sick of it. Like, that is coming. I don't know if that's tomorrow. I don't know if it's Thursday, but the backlash to the backlash is coming. I guarantee it. T-Bear Connell. I'm not gonna belabor this or go too much into it because this is a Packers channel. But yes, I saw the Saints Archdiocese news, and I will also say, if you haven't, go back and read the original reporting. I know the Associated Press highlighted a bunch of emails that kind of showed that what that reporting put out there was true. But Jenny Ventris did the initial work on this years ago, And I believe for that at that time, I think it was Sports Illustrated, but Google Jenny Ventris, Saints, Archdiocese, and go read her original reporting, because this has been a horrible topic for a long time. And I'm glad the Associated Press got it back out there and essentially proved her reporting. But yeah, it's very, very disturbing. No question about it. Soder, what's going on, man? On the Joe Johnson to Reggie White scale, where does Myles Garrett fall? Is really good? Yes. Will he change the defense? Not so sure. Oh, going to disagree with your police work there, Soder. Yes. Now, is he Reggie White? No, no one is, because Reggie is a singular force, not only on the football field, but off of the field as well. The most important free agent signing in the history of the league, completely transformed the Green Bay Packers franchise. Myles Garrett is not that. But as far as changing the defense, 1,000,000,000%. No question about it. Like, you talk about the entire game plan each and every week from the opposing offense being based on trying to minimize his impact. There's zero doubt. Like, yes. And what's crazy is that even with that happening, he's still productive. He's still getting to the quarterback. He's still blowing things up. He's still causing havoc in the backfield. Yes. Now, is it Reggie White level? No, probably a tick below. But does he change the defense? Without question. Zero doubt. Mike Witt, what's going on, man? Don't think it'll happen, unfortunately, with Garrett. That being said, Garrett on one side and Bane Gary on the other would feed families. It very much would. That would be amazing if Gary became the other guy. Could you imagine that? I mean, he just finished a season that I know in a lot of fans' minds was disappointing, but he also was in the top 10 for most chipped defensive end, most chipped pass rusher. I mean, the guy gets attention. And if all that attention suddenly went someplace else, I like the smell of that, no doubt. Ed, what's going on, man? Did someone suggest they won't be in the Super Bowl next year? I came in late. That is why whatever god that floats your boat created lightning bolts. Just saying. Ed, I don't have problems with people saying, like, oh, the Packers might not get in the Super Bowl, might not make a run, probably not. Maybe they're not quite ready, blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with all that talk. What I bristle at is they're not even close, like they're the Browns. Like, come on, people. Look around the firmament of the NFL. The Packers are one of not only the elite teams, but the elite franchises. And we are lucky to be fans of that team. Just drives me nuts. And that doesn't mean they're above reproach, doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. Of course they do. But comparative to much of the NFL, they're cream of the crop. And they have a really good squad. They had a frustrating year and still won 11 games. It's like Aaron Rodgers said. The Packers' low years are career years for other NFL franchises. Menace, what's going on, man? If we were to trade assets for a pass rusher, I'd much rather it be trading up for Abdul Carter than 30-year-old Garrett with Infinity Stone level cap hits. Well, the contract is an issue. It's something you got to contend with, but I know Russ Ball could probably make it work. I have zero doubt there. But as far as getting up to get Abdul Carter, I suspect the Abdul Carter, the jump up to get that high would probably be pretty damn eye-popping and significant. I don't know, man. That's a bit it's a bit much for me, but that doesn't mean it would be for the Packers. Cheeto, how are you, man? Already resigned to rooting for Sasquatch Barley and Vultures. Here's a super chat for the channel. Keep on keeping on, Nags. Have you done a Devontae vid? Have we done a Devontae vid? I don't think we've done a Devontae vid. I'll believe it when I see it. I know he's putting up Instagram nonsense with his sneakers. No, I don't think Devontae happens. I'd just be shocked if there was a reunion there. I mean, never say never. But, yeah, I would be surprised. Steno not getting the Houston OC job. Yes, I saw that news broke a little bit earlier this afternoon. Anthony Perkins, however, the defensive quality control coach, is joining Campanelli in Jacksonville to become their secondary coach. So Campanelli poaching from the Packers staff for his secondary coach. What else we got? Carrie Bishop, what's up, man? Hey, Nags, the average age of NFL fans is 40 to 50 plus. Why can't we get some halftime entertainment that actually fits our age at least every 5 years? Oh, I got to push back here, buddy. Sorry. But they rolled out the Bones of the Who back in the day, and that was a run of like octogenarian rockers forever. We had U2, we had the Who, we had back in the day we had the Stones, I think, and they catered to us for years. And now, yeah, they're going for a different demo. And guess what? That different demo brings in eyeballs that wouldn't be watching the game otherwise. Hell, when Lady Gaga performed at halftime, my daughters were rapt with attention. They weren't watching the Super Bowl otherwise. It ain't about us, man. It is marketing. It is big time marketing. And we are already there. They don't need our interest. Mike Witt, what's going on, man? Let's get more important question, Nags. Have you seen McGinn around town or Taylor Swift? Don't forget my earlier super chat, Nags. Sorry, Mike, did I miss one? No, I'll get it. Wait. Oh, I got that one. No, I have not seen McGinn. Tyler saw. Who'd you see? Ty Dunn. Ty Dunn's here, so maybe McGinn's around. We'll see. Wow, Craig, thanks for the super chat, man. Nags, did you talk about the Green and Gold movie? Wife and I saw it over the weekend. Think Hallmark movie with sports fringe. Saw it in Massachusetts, in the only screen where it was showing. Only 4 of us in the theater. Not surprised at that. I have not seen it. I know Corey had the opportunity to go to opening night, but he was busy with Live X. Couldn't make it over. I want to see it. Sounds great. Although I will say, the point of contention here. I know the movie was produced by Culver's or involvement with Culver's leadership, etc. And I'm fine with that. I got no problem with that. No issues. Movie about Wisconsin. Movie about the Packers. Movie about the Packers playing football in Lambeau Field. I'm all good with that. But I saw a still shot of Leroy Butler doing his initial Lambeau leap, and there was a Culver sign on the side of the bowl, Lambeau there, like printed on the foam there. There wasn't no Culver sign inside Lambeau Field. What is that about? Come on now. Yeah. But I will see it. I love the actors. And I know Charlie Barons is in it. Always want to support Charlie. I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure it's a great, heartwarming story. But that bugged the hell out of me. A little a corporate product placement in a place that never, ever would occur. Surprised the Packers didn't make him take it down. Jeff Smith, what's up, man? Goody is a great GM. Number 1 round picks, not so much. Given that, choices are 1, get Garrett, 2, get Crosby, or 3, go get PSU Carter in the draft. He is a better version of Parsons. No T. Higgins. Jeff, you laid a lot out there. Carter is not realistic. I don't know how that's becoming part of the conversation here, but that is not going to – he's going top of the top here, and the Packers are not going to be swimming in that pool. Also, the Garrett thing's probably not going to happen, and Crosby, very unlikely. I mean, I know these are the names that drive the conversation. We all get excited about it, but I'll be surprised if any of that happens. Matthew Clark, how are you, man? Go Pack Go. Next year, Guinness and Ireland, Nags. Yes, Matthew. Cannot wait. And my dream, speaking of the Browns, my dream is that we get whatever week Packers playing the Steelers in Ireland. That next week, the Packers are supposed to play the Browns on the road at some point this season. How about the Packers meet the Browns in London? Make a whole week trip of it. I know no one else wants that, but I want that. And I'm the most important thing here. Come on now. Big Al, I love this. The list of my random Packers in my lifetime: Jalen Smith, Vince Young, wide receiver Ryan Grant, Mo Wilkerson, and Snacks Harrison. Man, what could have been with Snacks, right? If Brian had been able to get him in the door, like even a couple years earlier, that would have been amazing. Instead, we got like running on fumes version of Snacks, which is kind of sad, but I am glad he finally got to wear a Packers uniform. Matthew, I'm in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cannot wait. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.